Agarwal sir, can you hear me? That is our requirement of today because uh, the natural resource as we have the petroleum, or we can say the MS petroleum products, some other petroleum products. These are the natural resources which we have, and these are limited. So, in the connection of the environment protection, because the COVID situation, climate change, global warming, many things we are having these situation due to the environmental degradation, or we can say the biodiversity imbalance or ecological imbalance. So, due to the ecological imbalance, all these things are happening. For that restoration or biodiversity restoration, we have the awareness program, public awareness program, that is known as environment protection and public health. We that means Account Services are registered company for this environmental consultancy, and we are offering various services in the field of environment for industry, for pollution control, and also for environmental clearance, forest clearance, and CRZ and wildlife clearance. Apart from this, we have some academic consultancies, like in case of editing books for environment protection, related to the environment, and some sustainable practices for management of all these things, not only one thing. And we are also having offering the training services in different domain of EIA and environment protection. Like here you can see in this week, start from 5th, 6th, and 7th August 2021, we have one 3-day program, modular training program on understanding of cement sector and impact assessment. It will be broadcasted at Google Meet. We'll conduct this session on Google Meet platform in the evening time, that is 7 to 8:30 p.m. daily, for 3 days. Then we have another 3-month program for environment impact assessment. Also, we have 1 week program in next month, September month. We have 1 day, 2 day, 3 day programs, and we have internship programs also. These are some glimpses about these training programs. And then we are also into the publication of books, different type of books for the industry, for managing waste, for ecological restoration, for protection of environment, for of course for bioremediation, or to groundwater contamination, contaminants, etc. So now I invite, can you hear me, Dr. Shankar M. Khade?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, okay. So I introduce here our speaker, Dr. Shankar M. Khade. He has completed MTech in biotechnology from NIT Rourkela, and he earned PhD in biochemical engineering from IIT BHU Varanasi. He joined School of Engineering, this A DY Patil University, Pune, in September 2020. He has core area of interest in microbial biostatics, biochemical, and therapeutic importance, bioenergy, like 2G and 3G ethanol, that is biofuel. His doctoral studies were focused on production and purification of uric acid enzyme from some microbial sources. And during his master and doctorate degree, he received a fellowship from Government of India. Later, he had joined as a project associate at R&D sector of Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited (HPCL), Bangalore, and he has worked on bioenergy area. Furthermore, he has joined as assistant professor now in Department of Bioscience, Satya Sai University for Human Excellence, Gulbarga, Karnataka. He has presented his doctoral research work in various international conferences in Singapore also, including. He has also published more than 15 peer-reviewed research articles and books. Currently, he is editorial member of many journals, including American Journal of Chemical Biochemical Engineering, and also he is reviewing for many manuscript, including like Cigna VT journals. So now I invite our guest speaker to enlighten about the biofuel. So just give me a moment to share the screen again. so that you can see that screen about the biofuel, right? So here I am going to share the screen. Just let me know that screen is visible or not, so that we can go ahead with this. Okay, it is not visible. Okay, डॉक्टर साहब आप सुन पा रहे हैं हमको? So can you see the screen?
Not yet, sir. Yeah, it's visible now, sir.
Yeah, it may mean some delayed response will be there. So you can start now, please.
Yeah. Okay, good evening to everyone. And I would like to thank from my bottom of heart to Dr. Ashok sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with you all. And also, I would like to say sorry because some technical hitches are there from my end, so that I cannot present from my side. But eventually, yeah. Okay. So today I would like to speak on the biofuels. As we know, the fuels are very much requirement for the transportations and all the energy needs. But currently, as you know, we are dependent upon the fossil fuels. So first of all, we'll understand about what is fuels. So as we know, fuels are the materials that can have the storage form of potential energy in the form, and they can be used for the purposes of all the requirements in the form of heat energy or the kinetic energy also. So fuels are required for a variety of purposes that includes transportation. So can you move it? Transportation, as it is the major form of the utilization of the fuel here. So 25% of the energy is required over here. So among that, so nearly 62% of the oil that is consumed for this transportation purposes. So next, importance of the fuel is in the power generation. So the power generation is the single largest use of fuel in the world. So it requires around 60% of the power generated that comes from the fossil fuels only. So as we know, these are the limited sources of the fuel. So eventually, in some of the 50 years or 70 years later, so this fuel will be will be limited on. So that's why we should have a another source, alternative source, so that we can withstand after limitation of these fuels also. So we can replenish those fossil fuels by means of utilizing some of the another alternative utilization like the electric cars, then the solar power and wind power, or the biofuels. So the fuels which are obtained from the biological means. The next slide, please. So what does it mean by biofuels actually? So biofuels are also the hydrocarbon fuel. Those are produced from the organic matter. So either living or the once the living matter or the dead one we can say. So within a short period of time, we can extract the fuel. We can produce the fuel from those sources, either living or the dead sources. So so as we know, why biofuels have become some of the important nowadays. So as we know, the energy security, because the increasing fossil fuel prices, so that is also one of the reason, so that we can go for the another alternative source of energy for the various requirements, and also one of the major impact on the environment, as we know, the greenhouse gas emission. So these are mainly caused by the fossil fuels, some of the greenhouse gases. So to limit those gases, to limit the air pollution in the environment, we should look for the biofuels. Okay, so these are, so after burning these biofuels, it will be having the clean energy, it will not produce the harmful gases, so that we can protect our environment. So the biofuels are of basically three types. We can you can see here from this slide. So those are generally classified into three means, like the first generation, second generation, and the third generation. So in the first generation, we can achieve the production of biofuels from the food sources, okay, or the food crops. that include the sugary food substances, that include sugar cane, then the barley, corn. You can see here the wheat and sweet sorghum. These are some of the sources. Those can be utilized for the production of biofuels. Then in the second generation, we can produce the biofuel in order to protect the food sources. Okay, because we cannot depend upon the this first generation, as food is the primary source of energy for all of us. So we should not utilize that source for the purposes of our energy requirement for transportation or the electricity purposes. So we should depend upon the other sources also. So that includes the some of the straws, like the rice straw, wheat straw. Those are, as we know, so those are not utilized for the food purposes. But of course, these are produced after extra harvesting the rice or the wheat. So that straws can be utilized for the purposes of producing ethanol. That I will tell you. Then some of the lignocellulosic material also. Then in case of the third generation, so here we are utilizing the living material. So that is the algae. So from the algae, we are producing the fuel in the form of lipid, and that lipid will be converted by means of a transesterification process into a biodiesel. So now we'll discuss on more detail on these generations. So first of all, we'll discuss about the first generation biofuels. So the biofuel that are made from the sugar, starchy crops, or vegetable oil or the animal fat by means of a conventional technology. So the technology is nothing but, so since these are the sugar-rich substances, so that sugar-rich substances can be utilized for the fermentation purposes and can produce the ethanol, and that ethanol we can blend with the our fossil fuel also, or independently also we can utilize for the purposes of energy. So the starch from the basic feedstocks is fermented into the ethanol or the vegetable oil through the chemical or the process like the transcription into the and the biodiesel. So these feedstocks could instead enter the animal or the human food chain. So as we know, so vegetable oil can also be utilized for the purposes of biofuel. So here the process is different than this fermentation. So here is the chemical process, that is the transesterification. By means of transesterification process, we can convert these lipid molecules into the fatty acid methyl esters, like the biodiesels. So yeah. So on this first generation biofuel, there is a one startup in India also. You might have aware about this. So there is a Delhi-based startup, that is KNP, Arises Green Energy. So this startup utilizes the used cooking oil for the purposes of generating a biofuel. So as we know, the cooking oil is mainly produced by means of utilization. Okay, and that can be used for the purposes of producing a biofuel. Now we'll discuss on the second generation biofuel. So in order to protect the food requirement, food demand, so we should not depend on these sources. So we need to look on the other substances or other sources, so that the first or the food sources cannot be utilized. So the second generation biofuels come from the woody crops and the grasses, like those containing the lignocellulosic material, so composed of the lignin and the cellulose, that is a polymer, and the other waste soil oils. So what are the advantages over this first generation? So in the second generation, so the increase the quantitative potential for biofuel generation per hectare. So we can increase the potential of biofuel production. Then we can grow these second generation or these lignocellulosic woody crops on the poor or the degraded soils where the food crop production is optimal, like the jatropha, as we know. So all of are familiar with the jatropha. So that is used as the energy crop. Yeah. So next slide, please. Okay. So here you can see the various biomass resources and their key issues. So the wood residues like sawdust, wood waste, and pulp mill wastes can also be utilized for the conversion into the ethanol. Then the agricultural residues like corn store, rice hulls, sugarcane bagasse, and the animal wastage, this can also be utilized for the conversion into the various biofuels. Like if it is animal waste, it will be utilized for the biodiesel purposes. So then the energy crops like the switch grasses, hybrid poplar, and the willow, these can also be utilized for the purposes of ethanol production. Yeah. So next slide, please. Okay. So if you see these second generation biofuel sources, so these are mainly composed of the lignin and cellulose. So these are the lignocellulosic materials. So in these sources, the lignin is around 10 to 25%, which is a complex aromatic structure and which is resistant to the biochemical conversion and different depolarization chemistry also. This lignin is the major, we can say the one of the recalcitrant compound which can inhibit the process of or the utilization of, or we can say the direct access to the cellulose. So that's why it is very necessary that the lignin should be removed from the during the processes. Then the next component is the hemicellulose. It is around 15 to 30%. So it is also a heteropolymer of pentoses and hexoses. So pentoses like the xylose are the main component of the sugars. Then the celluloses, which accounts for the 30 to 50%, and this is the major target. We need this polymer in the form of the sugars, where we can utilize the enzymatic treatment also in order to break down the polymeric chains. Yeah. So please next. Okay. So this is also one of the same which we have discussed in the last slide. So hemicellulose are account for the pentose sugars, and the cellulose account for the hexose sugars mainly. So till now, there is no any microbe that can utilize this pentose sugar for the fermentation purposes, but we are dependent mostly on the hexose only. So that's why we need to convert this cellulose into the sugar residues. Now the biomass conversion, or we can say the pre-treatment. So there are various methods in order to treat this biomass. First of all, mechanical. So that includes the milling, then the comminution and the decompression, where we can reduce their sizes and their structure can be made such that we can utilize that for the pre-treatment purposes. So the other method include the thermal processes, that include the hot water or the steam explosion also. Like in the steam explosion, we use around 170 to 180 degrees Celsius temperature. So under this temperature, for under this treatment, we can break down this lignin and cellulose polymers into the sugar residues. Then the chemical process that include the dilute acids, or it can also be the strong acids. Then the alkalis and the various solvents can also be used in order to remove this lignin, or we can say the hydrolysis of the cellulose also. Then the biological method that include the cellulases. So cellulases are the more prominent one we can know. So the cellulases, then the hemicellulase and the ligninase. So these enzymes can be used for the utilization or the conversion of the cellulose into the sugar residues. So here is the diagrammatically representation of the two-stage dilute acid processes. So you can see the biomass, the reduced biomass by means of the milling. So that have undergone the first stage of dilute acid treatment, and after pre-treatment of this dilute acid, so the solid materials will be utilized for the second stage of dilute hydrolysis, and the liquid, whatever the liquid has been obtained from the first stage, will be utilized for the fermentation. And the second stage, dilute acid hydrolysis, here actually the lignin is prominently removed from that complex. So you can see here, it has been shown over there that the lignin is removed in the solid, and the liquid will be utilized along with the first stage for the fermentation. So prior to fermentation, we need to neutralize that with the help of the alkalis, so that the pH can be favorable for the fermentation purposes. And after fermentation, so we can achieve the production of ethanol using the Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So next slide, please. Okay. So here, as I told, there are two ways, that is the dilute acid and the concentrated acid also we can use for the treatment of this biomass. The next slide, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
it scintillates.
yeah. So the next step is that enzymatic process or the biological process. Where the biomass has to be treated with the cellulases, and the cellulases can be utilized or that can convert into the sugars, and the sugar can be utilized for the fermentation purposes. So this is the easiest way we can say, because in the dilute acid, the various inhibitor molecules will be produced like the furfuryls. So these furfuryls are mainly inhibiting the fermentation process, but whereas this biological way, we can achieve more prominently these sugar molecules without any inhibitors. So this is the overall steps of this enzymatic treatment of this biomass. So you can see the pre-treatment with this and the conditioning, then that include the saccharification process actually. So the cellulases which hydrolyzes this cellulose into the sugar molecules, and these sugar molecules will be utilized for the fermentation purposes. Yes, next slide, please, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is also like the simultaneous saccharification and fermentation. So we can achieve simultaneous saccharification and fermentation also. So there is a one another method, alternatives like to this crude enzyme, like the crude cellulases. So we can utilize the enzyme producers also, like Trichoderma viridi are the strains which can simultaneously we can utilize for the saccharification, because these are the cellulose producers. Okay, and along with that, we can utilize the Saccharomyces cerevisiae for the fermentation of those produced sugars into the ethanol. Yeah. Okay. So I think everybody is knowing about the first trial of this SpiceJet that has been operated by using this biofuel from Dehradun to Delhi. So in the year of 2018, so the SpiceJet was been the trial purposes has been utilized for the trial. Yeah. So please next slide.
Yes, yes.
So the third generation biofuel. So in this third generation biofuel, so we can produce the biofuel from the living organisms. Okay. So the living sources, it includes the algae that are the low input and high yield feedstocks, which can be utilized for the production of biofuels. So algal fuels is an alternative to the liquid fossil fuels that uses the algae as its energy rich oils, because as we know, there are the ability of some of the algae that can store or accumulate the lipids in their cells. Okay, that lipids can be utilized for the purposes of biodiesel. So please next slide.
Hmm. Uh, can you see this right?
Yeah.
I have one announcement. Actually, just a minute.